Good morning, students. Today, in this video, we are going to discuss The Merchant of Venice, Act 2, Scene 2, lines 1 till 30. So, students, before starting it, let's see the objectives first. So, by the end of this video, you will be able to understand the explanation of lines 1 till 30 of Act 2, Scene 2 of The Merchant of Venice, and you will be able to understand the references and literary devices used in the lines 1 till 30. So students, so far we have done the development of plot, critical commentary and character portrayal of this scene from workbook. Now children, open your textbooks at page number 36. So let's start, students. Act 2 Scene 2 is taking place in a street before Shylock's house in Venice. And it opens with two characters. First is Lonslot, Gobo, and second is old Gobo. Lonslot is the servant of Shylock here, and Gobo is the father of Lonslot. So students, this scene starts with Lonslot debating career options with his own self, as Lonslot has grown tired of Shylock. Now Lonslot enters the scene scratching his head. So let's start, students. Scene 2, it is taking place in Venice, a street before Shylock's house. Now who enters? Enter Lonslot scratching his head. So, Lonslot, certainly my conscience will serve me to run from this Jew, my master. The fiend is at mine elbow and tempts me, saying to me, Gobo, Lonslot Gobo, good Lonslot, or good Gobo, or good Lonslot Gobo. Use your legs. Take the start. Run away. Now students, the meaning of certainly is indeed. Conscience means good soul. Serve means permit. Fiend means devil. Is here means stands. At mine elbow means stands close near me. Tempts means attracts. Take the start means make a good start. Now children, this is a soliloquy. What is soliloquy? A soliloquy is a monologue addressed to oneself, thoughts spoken aloud without addressing another. Soliloquies are used as a device in drama to let a character make their thoughts known to the audience. There is no other character present on the stage. Now students, here, this is a soliloquy as Lonslot here is talking to himself. So here Lonslot feels that his conscience will permit him to run away from the service of the Jew, that is Shylock. He says that the devil on his shoulder tempts him by calling him Gobo, Lonslot Gobo, good Lonslot, or good Gobo, or Lonslot Gobo. He advises him to use his legs and run away. Let's read the gist. Lonslot says that his conscience will not prevent him from running away from the Jew, his master, Shylock. He says that the devil stands close to him and tells him by calling him Gobo, Lonslot Gobo, good Lonslot, or good Gobo, or good Lonslot Gobo. The devil guides him to use his legs, start immediately, and run away. Let's move to the next slide. My conscience says, no, take heed. Honest Lonslot, take heed. Honest Gobo, or as aforesaid, honest Lonslot Gobo, do not run. Scorn running with thy heeds. Students, here conscience again means good soul. Heed means care. Aforesaid means as said before. Scorn running means hate the idea of running. Now children, here Lonslot says that his conscience replies to him by saying honest Lonslot, honest Gobo, and honest Lonslot Gobo to take care and as told before not to run and be utterly contemptuous of running, which means he should hate the very idea of running away. Let's read the gist now. Now his conscience tells him to take care. Honest Lonslot, take care. Honest Gobo, good Lonslot Gobo, do not run. It suggests him to hate the idea of running away. Let's read the next. Well, the most courageous fiend bids me back. Via, says the fiend. Away, says the fiend. For the heavens. Rouse up a brave mind, says the fiend. And run. Well, my conscience, hanging about the neck of my heart, says very wisely to me, my honest friend Lonslot, being an honest man's son, or rather an honest woman's son. Students, pack means pack up things. Via means the road here go. Fiend again means devil. Rouse up means awaken. Hanging about the neck of my heart, it is a metaphor. Clinging to my heart like a wife. Honest means virtuous. For indeed, my father did something smack, something grow too, he had a kind of taste. Well, my conscience says, Lonslot, budge not. Budge, says the fiend. Students, budge means move and fiend again means devil. Now students, here we are going to talk about the fiend, that is the devil. Now what does devil say to Lonslot? Here the fiend, that is the devil, persuades Lonslot to leave the service of Shylock and to run away. The devil again says to Lonslot that for heaven's sake he should build up the courage and run away. Now his conscience, which is hanging around the heart, calls him saying, honest friend Lonslot, and then says that Lonslot is an honest man's son, or rather an honest woman's son, therefore he should not move. Students, here Lonslot feels that his father might have had a bad streak, something ill about to be biased with people, so he immediately changes his words and calls himself as an honest woman's son. Students, here the debate is going on in between conscience and the fiend. Conscience says to Lonslot to not to move, whereas fiend tells him to move. Let's read the gist of these lines. The bold devil advises him to pack up and go. The devil tells him to take the road and go. The devil says, for heaven's sake, build up the courage and run away. His conscience pleads with him and calls him very wisely, honest friend Lonslot. The conscience says to Lonslot that he is an honest man's son, or rather an honest woman's son, so he should not move. Then Lonslot feels that his father might have had a bad streak, something ill about him to be biased with people, so he immediately changes his words and calls himself as an honest woman's son. His conscience tells him to not to move, whereas the devil says to move. Again, the conscience says to him to not to move. Let's move to the next slide. Budge not, says my conscience. Conscience, say I, you counsel well. Fiend, say I, you counsel well. To be ruled by my conscience, I should stay with the Jew my master, who, God bless the mark, is a kind of devil. And to run away from the Jew, I should be ruled by the fiend, who, saving your reverence, is the devil himself. Students, here Lonslot says that his conscience again tells him to not to move. And in reply to conscience, Lonslot says that conscience advises him well. And to the devil also, he says that devil also advises him well. Then he says if he is ruled by his conscience, he must stay with his master Shylock, the Jew, who is the devil himself. Now children, while saying so, he feels sorry for taking the name of the devil, which was supposed to be unlucky. Now Lonslot feels that if he runs away from the Jew, that is Shylock, he would be following the advice of the devil, who is the very devil himself. Here Lonslot again seems to apologize to the audience for using the name of the devil. Let's read the gist of the lines. Again, the conscience tells Lonslot not to move. He says to his conscience that it advises him well, and to the devil he says that devil also advises him well. He feels that if he is guided by his conscience, he should stay with his master, who is a kind of devil himself. Lonslot seems to apologize to the audience for using the name of the devil. Let's move to the next slide. Certainly, the Jew is the very devil incarnate, and in my conscience is but a kind of hard conscience. To offer to counsel me to stay with the Jew, the fiend gives the more friendly counsel. I will run, fiend, my heels are at your commandment. I will run. Students, here incarnal, it's a mistake for incarnate, in human flesh or in human form. In my conscience means to speak truly. Hard means strict. Commandment means service. Now students, here Lonslot says that the Jew, that is Shylock, is the devil in human form, and his conscience, which is a strict conscience, tells him to stay with the Jew. So he says that the devil gives him more friendly advice, which is nicer, and therefore he decides to run away from the Jew. Lonslot says to the devil that his legs are at his command, so he will run away. Let's read the gist of the lines. Lonslot feels that the Jew, Shylock, is the very devil in human form, and if he speaks truly, his conscience offers him very hard advice in advising him to stay with the Jew. He feels that the devil gives him more friendly advice. He decides that he will run away. His legs are at the devil's service, so he will run away. Let's move to the next slide. So students, he runs and falls into the arms of his father, that is old Gobo, who comes along the street with a basket. Gobo gaps, Master, young man, you, I pray you, which is the way to Master Jew's? Now here students, old Gobo enters the scene with the basket. Students, who is old Gobo? Old Gobo is the father of Lonslot. And here old Gobo requests Lonslot to tell him the way to the Master Jew's house. Now students, here no name is mentioned of the Jew. So it shows that how well known Shylock was in Venice. Let's read the gist. Here Gobo asks Lonslot if he can tell him the way to the house of the Master Jew. Next, Lonslot, aside, O heavens, this is my true begotten father, who, being more than sand blind, high gravel blind, knows me not. I will try confusions with him. Students, true begotten father means one who has raised and brought his son. Sand blind means half blind. High gravel blind means almost completely blind. Try confusions means try to confuse or play prank with him. Now students, here Lonslot is talking to himself on the side. So here Lonslot says that old Gobo is his father whom Lonslot has begotten, which means Lonslot has raised and brought his father up. Children, this is a joke because it is the father who begets the son and not the son who begets the father. Then Lonslot says that old Gobo is half blind or more than half blind, which means almost completely blind. So he does not recognize him. And then Lonslot says that he will try to confuse his father, that is, he will play a prank with his father, old Gobo. Let's read the gist of the lines. Lonslot says this is his father, whom Lonslot has begotten. Lonslot says to himself that his father is more than half blind. He is stone blind and does not recognize him. He says he will try to play prank with him. So students, this brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you have understood this? Now students, you have to do the homework given in your SNAP homework. Thank you.